XRP is crashing right now, and this may be surprising to some of you, but to others that have been paying close attention to not only the content we've been putting out, but just everything happening in the world, in the macroeconomic side of markets in general, then you'd realize that this move, well, something, first of all, I warned you about, and second of all, that was probably inevitable. The NASDAQ is down 5% today. We have the markets, Bitcoin is down to $81,000 today. We were all the way up to like 89K yesterday during Trump's speech about tariffs, but the tariffs in the end are the thing causing the most fear and the most uncertainty in these markets. What we've seen over the last few weeks after XRP hit a beautiful high at like $3.50. It came all the way up into the $3 range. It's been really struggling below $3, bouncing off $2 over and over again. And I gave the warning. We could easily revisit $2. We could potentially find a bounce off $2. We might still find a bounce off $2 if the traditional market stops falling down and Bitcoin stops falling down. But for XRP holders, I want to talk about the scenario if we break back down below $2, which is right now actually looking not only possible, but in fact, it is unfortunately looking probable right now. Now, if you're an XRP holder, I don't want this to be some kind of video that's supposed to make you panic or be upset about your position. These crypto markets are volatile. We know this. The point of this video is to remind you guys that I am bullish on cryptocurrency overall. Heck, I've got a YouTube channel about it because I believe that this isn't just a trend that's going to last for a year. It's not just a trend that's all of a sudden going to end out of nowhere. We're going to have bull cycles. We're going to have bear cycles. I believe that we're still in a bull cycle, but for XRP holders, this video is about the discount that you have and just the realistic aspect of what we're going to see for price action in these markets. So welcome back, everybody. A little bit of a long intro, but I want to give you guys some context to what I'm about to walk you through and remind you that I'm a bull. If you like the content, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. In the short term, I'm not the only one that is a short-term bear. Now, I'm a little less emotional about it than some people writing articles and some people on X, and that's only because I've been in the crypto market since 2016, and I've had a lot of these experiences with these volatilities. And when I see the discounts that we're seeing right now, I can't help myself but to lick my chops and get ready for a buy. Right? XRP bulls are in denial, according to this Cointelegraph article. And the reality is there are some that are kind of in denial that like tariffs are a bearish thing. I know there's some people that as I was coming out and saying, hey, look out, we're coming back down to $2. Hey, look out, we might break down below $2. Some people are like, you're an idiot, and some people, and I get it because you want the thing to go up. I want it to go up too, but I also kind of have to look at the facts in the face and say, $2 is certainly support, and the tariff news is quite bearish news. That's not my opinion. That's the world's opinion, okay? Regardless if you support tariffs or not support tariffs, everybody knows that the tariffs are going to cause pain because it's uncertainty with inflation and all these different things. But do I like this article? XRP bulls in denial as price trend mirrors previous 75 to 90% crashes. Are we going to see a 90% crash on XRP? No, I think this is a fuddy-duddy article. I don't think we're going to see a 90% crash on XRP, and here's why. Looking just right at this chart, you want to see XRP come down 90%. Are we really going to be revisiting the 20-cent price level for XRP after the XRP lawsuit has ended? Going back down to the lowest price level it's been since, even since 2021. I don't think so. Why? Well, we're still in a bull market in my opinion. And XRP just had the lawsuit end with Ripple, and overall crypto's never been more bullish than ever before. Well, on the macroeconomic side, if you look at the news of where crypto's at, it's never been more bullish. Now, the price action for Bitcoin admittedly is weak, which is why I told you guys that XRP could fall back down below $2. I was talking to you guys a little bit about a couple key levels for Bitcoin. If we fell out of this range, then we could find some lower levels. We might come back down for Bitcoin to the March 2024 highs that we saw right over here, which is very, very possible. Maybe even test our 2021 previous all-time highs. That's something we might see. We might revisit the $65,000 level, which in fact is a price level that I'm going to actually put out there for you. We could potentially tap down to 65. I'm going to officially draw that in because looks like we're breaking. And the main thing that I've been telling you guys, and the reason I called this break back down below $2 is I told you most specifically, if this total market cap level loses $2.62 trillion, which is our March 2024 highs for total market cap, XRP is likely going to lose $2, and we are testing it right now. In fact, we lost it. We wicked down below it. Again, could we find a bounce here? We absolutely could, but there is another warning I want to give for you. I don't believe in the 75 to 90% crash, but I do believe that there could be a trend forming that is a topping pattern that could lead down to the downside, maybe even down to $1.07. Let's look at this on the charts. This is an article that I quite enjoyed. I think this is a realistic take from CoinDesk, this publication. Why do I say that? Again, Crypto Kip, you're being bearish. I'm not being bearish. I am finding a level of support to strategize around my buying strategy to accumulate my favorite cryptos for the long term, because again, I still believe we're in a bull market looking at the macro picture, but the tariffs are causing uncertainty and the Fed pivot, we're still looking for that. Now, if XRP came down to $1.07, that's a 50% move to the downside, okay? From $2 to $1, that's a 50% move to the downside. Why would we come down to $1? Well, that is a level that we've visited quite a few times in the past. You can kind of see that, this thing has some weekly candle closes kind of right at that dollar price level, kind of break down below, break back through. $1 is also a very psychological level. We have these wicks over here that didn't quite make it to $1, got up to like 93 cents. So anything around that dollar price level, I don't know if I quite agree with the $1.07 exactly, but something around $1 would not be surprising to me. This is something that I've been calling out. Does that mean that you should be shorting XRP right now? Well, I don't necessarily love that strategy. Now, if you're in a short and you got into a short yesterday, which by the way, if you want to do some trading for yourself, you could sign up for Blowfin using our link pinned in the description down below. But what I want to show you guys is this. When you go over to X and you look at what I've been talking about, like you had an opportunity to open up a short. I was talking about shorts all yesterday. I said, today's a bull trap. Do you understand? Me looking at my short positions right now, I was making a joke. There's BitBoy looking not so good. And then me looking at the same short position 7 minutes later. I knew that this was a bull trap. I knew, and so it begins short squeeze first, and then long squeeze, and then a crash to the downside. Sell the rumor, buy the news. I'm skeptical. So what I'm telling you guys is, you can track these markets. You can understand these markets like me and Black Sea are able to kind of understand these markets and track them. And I'm not a financial advisor. I don't make every perfect call, right? Being realistic about it, you can never really predict what happens next. But this news was pretty obvious. And you could have opened up a short position over the last few weeks and be riding it down to $2. I've been talking over the last 2 weeks about how I think XRP is coming back down to $2. I think it's coming back down to $2. And now it could come back down to $1. But there is a reality that there is support at $2. So we might see a mini bounce here. There's a possibility. I don't like shorting support. If we break through, potentially you could then short XRP. What you might want to wait for is a breakthrough and then a rejection back off the top of this and then a move back down to the downside. Maybe we come back down to $1 and then we continue into the bull market. These are the kind of things that I look about and strategize around when I'm buying these things and looking for entries and also just looking for DCA positions to continue dollar cost averaging into the market. I'm not concerned about the long term for XRP. I'm not concerned about the long term for crypto by any means, but in the short term, we could come down to $1. I don't think we're coming down 90%. I think that's a ridiculous article. But I do think that we could be coming down to $1 again. It's possible. I'm not telling you it's going to happen, but I'm telling you, I call that we were coming down to $2. Here we are. I'm telling you that if total market cap really breaks below on this weekly candle, below this 2.6 something trillion dollar level, XRP could easily lose the $2 level, and we might see Bitcoin come back down to maybe the previous highs from 2021, which is 65K. If that happens, XRP could easily come down to $1. And we might see it just come down to 71K. And even then, XRP could still come down to $1. We're going to keep looking at other price levels. There are certainly some levels in between $1 and $2 that we could consider. But I just want to give you that brief video on this and the price action that I'm kind of seeing. Tune in for more XRP content to get kind of more of my specific targets right now. I would be hesitant to open up a short position right now. If you're in a short position right now, you'd have your stop losses set and you're ready to go. You're rocking and you're hoping, okay, I'm in a short. Hopefully it comes down below $2 because then I can profit from that short and buy the dip on XRP. At least that's kind of how I tend to do it. That's all I have for you guys in this one. I'm Crypto Kip. This is the Crypto Report. Do me a favor. If you enjoy this content, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, DCA, HODL, and of course, my friends, I'll see you in the next one. I got 2 videos here if you want to check them out. Until next time, y'all. Peace.